Hello and welcome to Filmgazm. I was planning on doing Pet Sematary, or I guess Get Out. I said Hannibal Lecter, which is coming, I promise. But this past weekend, my buddy Austin and I saw Us, and we were both thoroughly disappointed. So we had an emergency session of Filmgazm Congress, and we are here to talk about Us. So massive spoiler warning, just came out. If you haven't seen it yet, turn this off. We are going to dissect this movie from beginning to end as best we can and give you our 2 cents on why we thought this movie was kind of a misfire. And with me is my trusty partner in crime, Austin Johnson.
How's it going?
And as always, thanks for listening. If you want to check out more from Filmgazm, go to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can check out the website, filmgazm.com with a Z. And, of course, YouTube and iTunes. We got one every week, every Wednesday. And be sure to check out next week's. It's going to be really cool. It's our first Weird Shit Wednesday, where we dissect a very strange event or a filmmaker's career. And it's going to be the career, a two-parter of Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, yeah.
Very much. I had fun doing that one.
That was a blast, yeah.
Absolutely going to be a good one. Enjoy that one. But for now, Us.
Oh, boy. Jordan Peele's second movie, yes?
Yes.
Like you said, you just had the podcast about Get Out.
Yeah.
We were both very excited. We saw this on Friday night.
Yes.
We're recording this now on Monday night.
Opening night.
Yeah, very excited. We heavily anticipated this one, as most of America did, and horror fans alike.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And the thing is, our opinion on this is in the minority here, which is very weird. This movie is still sitting high at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. And it has an 81 Metascore and a 7.5 on IMDb. That's very solid. Across the board, very solid.
Yeah.
And I will say there are great things about the movie.
There are.
All the performances, I don't really have a problem with any of them, and I think Lupita is amazing.
Yes.
I think she's the only one who is, kind of on a different level than the rest. I think the two kids are great, but Lupita kind of carries things for me as being Red and Adelaide at the same time. She's just riveting to watch. But yeah, like Connor said, we were both very disappointed as we walked out because of the ending. Spoilers. This is you cannot talk about Us without spoiling it.
Yeah.
The third act of this movie is sloppy as hell.
It's a mess.
And that happens a lot in horror where people try to pack on a bunch of layers at the end and try to kind of wow you and leave you, whoa, and have this, transformative, whoa, it was one of the greatest horror things, but don't let this movie fool you. That was a sloppy-ass ending, and doesn't make any sense logistically.
Having a twist just for the sake of having a twist is sloppy, and it's trite.
Yeah, it's just...
It ruins the movie, but this movie really already had problems before that. That just added more problems.
Yeah. I want to hear from your perspective, so let's kind of just break down, because a lot of people have seen this movie, and you're probably not going to listen to this without seeing it because, again, we're spoiling the whole thing.
Yes.
We're going to go from the beginning and talk about also what we like about it.
Yeah.
Because there are some images in this movie that are frightening. And,
absolutely.
The doppelganger idea is really cool. It's a really cool idea. So let's start with the beginning. What was your take on the beginning with Adelaide as a little girl in 1986?
I thought from what happened first? Was it the beach scene or the opening credits?
What was the beach scene? Well, she's like watching TV, right? Where she's watching the
that was the opener?
Hands Across America, yeah, and then they're at the beach,
and then the opening credits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the beach from the opening credits, brilliant. I think the best part of the film.
Okay.
I thought the setup was great. Her, dad not paying attention, her wandering away,
classic,
not really knowing what's going on. The House of Mirrors, her seeing herself turned around in the House of Mirrors, that was frightening.
Yeah, Jordan Peele took it to a whole nother level with that opening.
A missing kid is always a horrifying thing.
Yeah.
And I thought it set up what I thought was going to be a brilliant, nail-biting horror film. And then the opening credits with that music and the bunnies, for some reason, it was just unnerving as hell.
Yeah.
And then from there, we get this, the girl grown up. She's Lupita Adelaide.
Yeah.
And she and her husband, what was her husband's name?
Winston Duke, what's his name? Gabe.
Gabe.
Yeah. And Abraham is his doppelganger, yeah.
Played by Winston Duke.
Who teamed up with Lupita back in last year in Black Panther.
They got Black Panther on their resume, so already great chemistry for the ensemble.
Great chemistry as actors, but here's characters.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How are these two people married?
I don't know. Like, Gabe's whole character is the goofy guy in a film that does not need a goofy guy.
And he's an idiot. He's oblivious.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the Howard, sweatshirt the whole time. You're like, oh, you kind of think the way he has all these dad jokes, you're like, this would be a smart guy, but he is dumb. He's a dumb character.
Yeah. On their beach vacation, you get the hint that Lupita, it's the first time she's been back to this beach since she went missing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess at the beginning, in that 1986 scene, she's at a beach and, has a frightening, moment experience.
She gets it.
Now we're back at the beach with her, how old she is. She's in her 30s because she has 2 kids and a husband now, so...
And she's got PTSD, she's having issues, she can't cope at this beach. She meets up with their weird friends who are so cantankerous and just bitchy.
That's played by Elizabeth Moss and Tim Heidecker. They were both hilarious.
They were both great.
Yeah.
The scene where he's like giving her rosé and he's like, "You need your medicine." She's just giving him the stink eye the whole time. I love that.
He says something like, "Can I get an I love you?" And she's like, "I hate you." Just awesome like bickering between 2 alcoholic parents. Yeah, it's funny.
And the kid, her son. What was his name?
Jason.
Jason goes wandering off.
Of course.
Adelaide freaks out, because, obviously, and she finds him, but he was wandering towards the same area, and he saw some weird guy that never really comes up again. I just realized that's never mentioned again.
Oh, man.
Damn. Well, anyway, yada, yada, yada. They go back to the cabin, and they are attacked by a family of 4 who look exactly like them.
Yeah.
And are all dressed in red and have a very sharp pair of scissors.
It's strange that transition's so strange because Lupita's character, Adelaide, is so freaked out from her son. Like, oh, you disappeared, and is so freaked out and traumatized. Like, we have to go home. That there's, like, no time for us to kind of, like, grasp, like, okay... Like, for her character to develop, or for the family to develop, it just goes straight into, oh, okay, shit, there's the doppelgangers in the driveway.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird transition for me.
The brief moment you do get of the hint of a development is Lupita confessing to Winston Duke about her experience as a kid, and he had no knowledge about it.
Is horrible to me because
it's terrible.
Man, and his response is so bad, and nothing really on Winston Duke. It's probably just the writing, which is bad. It's like... His response is, how did you not tell me this deep secret? And it's like, you guys have been married for, obviously, around 10 years, and you have these 2 kids. Like, you'd think this would come up.
Yeah.
And this is, not only is this a beach, this is the exact beach. You could go to any beach in California, and you choose this one.
She really could have said something back at the house. She said, like, hey, let's not go to that beach. I went missing there.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. But...
Yeah, obviously more stuff happens later on, but yeah, we're trying to bring you with us along with how we viewed our perspective on the movie was.
And when the family attacks, it's creepy.
It's cool.
It's unnerving.
It is cool,
and it's well done.
It's shot very well. It's kind
of
Jordan Peele flexing his muscles.
You're as confused as they are, and you remain pretty much as confused the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually. The dark family does subdue them, and they sit them down.
Yeah, and something that's really cool that we'll point out later as we get down the line is one of the first things that happens is Red, Lupita's doppelganger, handcuffs Adelaide to the table.
Yes,
like right away. That's like one of the first things. I'm going to make sure you're set. Like you're right here. Really interesting that comes up later, but so yeah, like you said, they're pretty much subdued at this point.
Yeah.
To now they have no choice but to kind of just sit there and take the situation as is.
And each of the dark family members has like an element of the regular family members amplified to represent their entire personality, which is I think was brilliant.
Yeah, personally. So let's go through those. Yeah.
Red, Adelaide's doppelganger, is very screwed up. You get the feeling that she's been through some shit, and her voice is all,
mental.
Her voice is all crackled like she's been strangled. And that's so freaking unnerving. The way she talks creeped me out beyond belief. She's obviously the ringleader here. And Abraham, Gabe's doppelganger, is just a noise, like just a shouting moron.
Making noises. Just an idiot. A doofus, just like we said about Gabe earlier.
He's Hodor. And it gets old.
It does. It does. He has a quicker death.
Jason's doppelganger is burned and always wearing this mask and is obsessed with fire. Which, because Jason's always trying to do this magic trick with sparks.
Yeah, always like right in front of his face.
Yeah.
And his doppelganger has those burns on his face.
And then the daughter, what was her name?
I'm trying to remember him. Zora and then Umbre. I guess, is that how you say it? Umbre? Zora is the daughter, and then her doppelganger.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. Zora, the daughter, is she's a track star, but she doesn't really want to be a track star.
Yeah.
But her doppelganger.
She's just like a teenage girl, man. She's, and I think Jordan Peele, had a lot of fun writing that character, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And the showdown between her and her doppelganger is great.
It is
They're
great.
both just running after.
Yeah. That's creepy.
Really creepy.
Her constant smile is unnerving.
It is frightening. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when she stabs that guy.
The giant eyes too. Yeah.
But Lupita, or evil Lupita, Red, sits him down and tells them the story of the Tethered.
Yes, the Princess in the Shadow.
Yeah.
Breaks it down for us. Really is like, all right, this is the movie right now.
Yeah.
I'm bringing you into this light, and now this is the movie.
Yes.
And it's explained pretty well at that point.
Yes.
For me at that point, we're probably close to an hour in, and you're like, okay, this is a really cool movie, and this is really creepy, and you still have this feeling of these people, they're gonna have to fight or something. Something's gonna have to happen. And at that point, I was all in. I was really locked in at this point.
So was I.
The film. So
was I.
So where do we go from there?
Well, after the story of part of the story of who the Tethered are, these shadows, and why they're there, the torture starts. And Red says to Adelaide that she's going to all she wants is to take her time.
Yeah.
Which is disturbing as shit.
Very disturbing.
But they never get that chance because the family quickly gets the upper hand because of Abraham. Gabe ends up chopping him up in a boat. In the propeller. The freaking boat that always comes up at the most inopportune time. And around this time is when things start to take a dip for me. Because this is where the forced humor starts.
Yes.
And that bugged me more than anything.
Yeah, lots of boat jokes.
Way too many boat jokes.
So many boat jokes. When the original boat scene to me was not funny.
It wasn't.
There's
no reason to throw back.
When he was like, ha, ha, I was like, I've seen this. Steve Martin has done this 50 times. I don't need to see this shit. I really don't. I'm here to be scared. Yeah. If you want to throw humor that's dark and funny, go for it. Get Out had plenty of smirking kind of very snarky type stuff. This was all right, dude. What I got kind of I think I pointed this out after we saw it. I don't know if anybody's seen Rough Night. It's like one of those comedies where everybody's just trapped in a house. I kind of got that feeling a lot with this, because of Winston Duke and his whole storyline. So
it's just not how people would act in this situation. No. If you're attacked by, not even if the people look like you, if you're just attacked, your family's attacked by invaders like this, you're not going to crack jokes when you're beating them to death.
No,
nobody handled this situation the way anybody handles a situation like this. And
because it's unfathomable, this sort of thing. It's a very dark thought to have someone who looks just like you attack you.
Yeah.
And with intent.
Not even looks just like you, thinks just like you.
It is you.
It is you.
Yeah. And as we learn later, like she said, the Tethered is it's a really, really, really cool idea. But not executed. Mm-hmm. The humor is misplaced so much in this film, especially during this stretch. Like you said it kind of takes a dive here. Yeah. Close to the halfway point of the film.
So after the family escapes, they head over to their friend Elizabeth Moss and the other guy.
Yeah, what's their names? Let's find out. I got it right here. Kitty and Josh Tyler.
Kitty and Josh.
Okay, yeah.
They go to them
and they have two daughters, right?
Twins.
Yeah. Which of course, there's a shout out to Shining there.
Yep.
Very much so, especially as we see their doppelgangers.
Yep.
But we'll get to that. So we go to the Tylers.
Mm-hmm. With a really funny scene where what was her name again? Kitty, of course, wants Josh to go investigate a sound, and he's like, but I'm comfy.
Yeah, he's drinking, sitting in a nice chair. Yeah. It was classic, classic.
And they do the typical horror movie trope where he's like, oh, look, there's something out there trying to fuck with her.
Yeah.
But then his doppelganger comes in, they they all get killed.
But yeah, the coolest part is he's like, everybody relax, let's play some music. He puts on the Beach Boys, and then his doppelganger gives him a nice Michael Myers type death.
And then Kitty's telling like, hey Google, or whatever the hell it was, call the police, and she's like playing "Fuck the Police" by NWA.
That was great.
And then
see, the humor there is like because I want to explain this. The humor there is really funny because it's using something that's like kind of dumb that we use in society today, like the Alexa thing. Yeah. And we're like using it to like function and to like call the police. And so it's like Jordan's like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna make a joke out of this. And I that's not misplaced humor. That's really funny because it applies and makes sense. It's not forced at all.
Yes.
But some of the dialogue here is like, oh boy,
sloppy.
Yeah,
very sloppy. Boy. And of course, the Adelaide and her family have to fight off her friend's doppelgangers now in order to get out of there. And after they do that, they find out this is a global situation.
Yeah, they see on I think CNN is on.
Yeah.
So they're showing, hey, this is America. Like this is modern times. Like CNN.
I guess it isn't global. It's national.
They're watching. Yeah. Which is more weird. National. Yeah. Either way, that makes it a whole different movie now. Because now you're involving. It made it feel like a zombie movie. Because it's like, okay, now you have a family watching CNN. And they're like, oh, what do we got to do? We have to evacuate. We have to do this. It's like this is kind of ridiculous because this idea built off of the tethered. That logistically makes no sense.
It would have made much more sense and been more solid if it had been a contained thing. If it had just been like them.
Yeah, and you don't even need to end it like in a little fucking gift, little wrap bow. Like I don't need that. Just give me the perspective of this family. And like let's move on.
Yeah.
Great. I think great horror movies know when to just like keep these characters central and that's it.
Yeah.
Now it's like you said, whatever national or global thing that's going on, where every single person has one of these underground in a tunnel.
Oh, that reminds me.
Whew.
The film opens with some kind of explanation about like all the
that was odd
miles of unused and empty tunnels that have no point underneath America.
Yeah.
Which kind of comes up in the end.
Ballsy way to open a movie though.
Yeah.
Like
made me very intrigued. Like, what's under the earth? Like, what's under America?
Yeah.
But you don't get that payoff.
Not really. No. No.
Yeah. So Adelaide realizes that they got to go back to the beach for some reason. I don't remember why they go back
I'm trying to remember that. Yeah.
They don't nobody had her kids or anything. They just went back to the beach.
I'm trying to remember. There's got to be a.
Well, anyway,
it's not that important.
Clearly, it didn't stick. It was only 3 days ago.
Yeah, a lot happened. So I've had to kind of sort it through in my head.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of layers here.
There really are. And eventually, Red gets a hold of Jason and takes Adelaide's son into the tunnels where the tethered came from.
Yes.
And Adelaide finds her way there awfully fast for reasons you'll find out later. And they go into the House of Mirrors that Adelaide got hurt in as a child. And she tracks down Red and fights her in some weird ballerina dance.
Really interesting, fight. Yeah. That's when we hear a lot of music, very loud music.
And you get the sense of what Red's plan is here. And it involves Hands Across America and making a statement, which is weird.
Everything ties together from the beginning of the film. We saw a Hands Across America ad from the 80s on a TV, and now it's like, oh, these people are going to do this now. And Adelaide's doppelganger Red is the leader, because she's the one who can talk, apparently,
Yeah. And the reason she can talk...
Yeah, we might as well give it up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you've stuck this long, you've seen the movie. And but Adelaide, when she went into the House of Mirrors as a kid, she was switched by Red. So Red took her into the tunnels and took her place.
Yes, handcuffed her to the bed.
Yes.
Left her in the tunnels and, went back up and, found her parents. Switched t-shirts from the Hands Across America t-shirt to the Thriller Michael Jackson t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Sucks because Michael Jackson's gotten a lot of flack lately. I don't think people knew that that was going to happen when he put that shirt on there. But
yeah,
they switched shirts and now they're essentially switch spots, switch lives.
Yeah.
At age whatever. I think she's 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Crazy, unearned, and makes zero sense whatsoever. It's a final twist for the sake of a final twist.
It makes sense, like, only in, like, there's, like, very few, like, I've read a lot, listened to a lot, and I've thought about it a lot, and I've watched enough movies to kind of, find my way through each one. Yes, there's little signs of, like, oh, she's offbeat when I Got 5 on It's playing, There's, like, little signs of her being off. Yeah, we knew that. We knew there was something a little off about our main character, about Adelaide. We knew that. We didn't, but come on, man. And that's why, that's why we have, like, where she's the only one who can talk, because at one point she could speak English, and then she got stuck on her hair for 20-something years, and now her voice is all crackled.
Explains why she's so pissed at Adelaide.
Yes, makes sense why they have this, and it makes sense why Adelaide at the beginning, which is really Red, is saying she's coming after me. It feels like she's coming after stuff like that.
Yeah, and I guess Adelaide suppressed this memory, and she forgot until now.
I guess so,
and it's coming back,
which is okay. Like what? Also, if so let's now that everybody knows what happened, the real Adelaide. If you get stuck underground, it doesn't matter really what age. If you're an infant, of course you don't know what's going on. But if you have any relative idea of what's happening to you, and you get handcuffed to a bed by a girl who looks just like you, and left and abandoned, you're probably gonna be screaming and doing whatever you can to get out of there. I guess Jordan Peele is saying she's in shock, and there's nothing she could do about it. She just kind of had to accept her place. Also, seemed really easy to get out of those fucking tunnels.
Yeah, there's an escalator.
How did she not? Yeah, how'd she not figure that out?
20 years. She just accepted. All right, this is me now.
Makes no sense. I don't know, man.
And why isn't she the one who repressed these memories? She's the one who went through trauma,
right?
Not the other one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And then we have that moment where everybody's like, huh? When she looks at her son and kind of smiles, Lupita Nyong'o, and you're like, holy shit, that's Red. Like she's actually the quote unquote evil one.
See, what would have made more sense if during the fight, Red had killed Adelaide and taken her clothes. Yeah. That would have made way more sense and would have been a better payoff.
She would have been like, fuck you, I'm taking my life back.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, I'm taking my life. But it's also like, I'm not taking my life back because I wouldn't have married that doofus. I don't know that doofus,
Yeah.
So it's hard to... There's so much. And then with that, like, okay, that's one thing. But then you play the whole... Everybody has a doppelganger. Everybody has one of these tethered. Is like, oh, okay. So are there any other scenarios like that we need to know about where people switch places? Or is that the only one? I don't know. And it seems like a perspective on a family that was really cool for a moment, and then it turned into this really big, sloppy idea. And,
yes.
And now it's like, well, you were kind of like a master of something, and then you tried to become a jack of all trades, and you fucked it up.
Yeah.
And it affected my respect for the movie.
It did. It really did. It affected my anticipation of the Twilight Zone more than anything.
For sure. That's on CBS, and CBS sometimes doesn't do too hot with...
Yeah, it's already on a channel I didn't want.
Yeah. So we'll see. I love him. I love some of the creativity. Yeah. And generally here, there's a lot he's trying to say. But I think generally it's like, you can't, be a piece of shit and not be confronted by something, or be, people are watching, whether it be your shadow or other people around you, or people who love you. You can't just get away with being a piece of shit and not confronting the things you've done.
True, but in the sense of this movie, are they really pieces of shit? Because they had no idea about these people. They had no idea what they were doing was being duplicated.
No, for sure. And that's kind of the point, is that we don't think about the actions we take because we're selfish, because it's just us. So to me, I'm like, I have no problem sitting on my phone for 3 hours and like wasting my brain away because no one else is being affected by it but me. So, but it makes you think about, like, why are you doing those things then? Even, I don't know. It makes you think about just the actions you take. And ultimately, that's a really cool thing you can do with movies.
Yeah.
Is challenge people to change the way they live. And this movie definitely made me kind of like, what if I was watching my tethered, below me when I'm just not doing anything, that kind of scares you. I don't know. There's really, really cool ideas here. Really, really cool stuff in Us.
Yeah.
The bunny's awesome. The scissors, awesome. All that stuff is classic horror, just there for the fuck of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we love about it, because there's no rules. But hey, man, when you make a movie about real life people, you have to adjust and kind of play by some rules. And Jordan Peele did not. Yeah. So.
Okay. So inevitably, people are going to compare this to Get Out.
Of course.
So
stupid.
Let's do it.
That's that's an exercise that's always going to happen, and Get Out's way better.
Get Out was way better. Get Out was a well-deserved Oscar winner. If you want to hear more about that, listen to podcast number 3.
Great podcast, great episode.
But I think Get Out had a more solid story. It was compact. It had something to say that made
exactly
sense.
what it wanted to do.
Yeah. There was no fat on that
and
movie.
The humor was in like in one character.
Yeah.
Like in one guy. And so when he was on the screen, we knew what was going to happen.
Yes.
He was on the screen, it was pretty serious the whole time.
It was dark. Extremely dark.
But it also wasn't... The like, twist was not really, like, that far-fetched. It was really like, it was coming the whole time. We knew that was coming. We knew the girlfriend was in on it the whole time. When she's fucking with the keys at the end, we're all like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
That movie, like, really... I watched the day we saw Us. I watched it that Friday, and I was like, this is just hard to top.
Yes.
No matter who you are, you make a movie that cool, you make a movie that good and that impactful, culturally, socially, and just horror. It's just cool. It's just a good horror movie. It's going to be hard to follow up, and yes, there's stuff I love about Us, but overall, not even close.
Well, I can speak from personal experience that Get Out is already being taught in colleges. I was taught that film in a college class I took.
Literally months after.
Yeah, the Posthuman in Film, where we talked about, it was mostly sci-fi films, but we also covered some movies like Logan and Get Out. Because the whole idea of, how far into the surgery do you go before you stop being human? Mm-hmm. Like, what is human, and are you even you anymore? And the fact that the year that movie came out, it's already raising philosophical questions like that.
That's amazing.
It's incredible. Us, I feel like there is potential for that kind of treatment, but the third act takes it away.
It does, yeah. You have to judge it's a whole movie.
Yeah. You can't teach bits and pieces. You got to take the whole thing.
Yeah, you do. It's a whole project, and I don't know. I listened to him talk. I listened to Jordan Peele talk on a podcast with The Big Picture, and he said, he's like, everything I do is going to be jumping like off a cliff. He's like, some people are always going to hate it. I think here with Us, it's got a bigger scope, more money than Get Out.
Yeah.
It has Lupita Nyong'o, who's an Oscar winner. There's people there's people who would see this movie because of Lupita that would never see a horror movie because she kind of has that superstar quality to her. But man, there's something to say about just having a smaller idea, smaller amount to like deal with, and Get Out proved that.
But on the same level, it is possible to make a grandiose horror film works
for sure.
But
this felt,
there are issues.
I hate using the word rushed, but it felt rushed.
It felt very rushed.
It's like you 2 years later, you're going to come out. You can take some time.
Well, I read that Get Out went through 20 or 30 drafts before he was fine with it. This did not feel like that kind
There's no way. It's impossible. Yeah.
No.
Impossible. Man. Yeah, it's a fascinating movie. This is probably one of the like, I'm not going to say worst, because it's not a bad movie. I don't want anybody to think that we think it's bad. We don't think it's bad. I don't really go see bad movies. Like, I don't go to theaters to see bad movies. Yeah. But we're both big fans, and we're going to hold it accountable, because when you do have all that money, you do have those stars, you got to make a good fucking product.
Yeah.
And it needs to be through and through the whole way. It needs to be good.
There are serious narrative problems that need to be addressed. And if they're not addressed, you're going to have issues. Like, you're going to have people like us, nitpicking.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. And I also hate the line that it gets that if you haven't seen Us twice, you haven't seen it. It's like,
you shouldn't have to see
or
it twice.
you just fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
And do your research.
People said the same shit about Inception. And I hate when people take a movie and turn it into a status symbol.
Ugh.
It's infuriating to me.
I don't like Inception. Yeah, I don't like that, because just pay attention and process it. Don't just go back to the theater right away. Definitely think about this movie though. Don't just join the bandwagon of Jordan Peele is like one of the geniuses of of horror. If you really think it's good, awesome. If you really enjoyed us, that's great. I'm happy for you. But I challenge everyone to look into, stuff that's supposed to be grand and amazing. Really question it. Really figure out why is it so good.
If a movie is going to be called by multiple sources the scariest movie of all time,
God. Well, that's a whole other.
It better live up. And
Come on,
Us
man.
did not live up to that statement. No movie can live up to that statement.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But then to throw that on a movie like this is like the goal wasn't to scare the piss out of people.
No,
not in my opinion.
I think that's partly the goal of every horror film. But
yeah, you want to scare her, of course.
Yeah.
But this wasn't like I don't know.
This wasn't scary.
It didn't feel like a spine tingler, like like some people were calling it. I was spooked a lot, and the feeling I get a lot with like horror movies I like is I kind of like not laugh, but I kind of like smile, and I'm like, oh man, and that's when I know it's getting good. And this,
I had that same reaction in certain moments.
Yeah, and this movie has that. It has some of those like classic thing. There's moments in The Shining where you're just kind of like, oh man, because it's at this climax, and you're like, what's gonna happen? And this movie offers that a few times, that's what you want. And we're talking about it, which is part of the goal of making a movie.
That's true.
To get people to have conversation.
If nothing else, this movie got everyone's attention.
For sure. And that's awesome. That's why I think we did this emergency pod. So
it's already broken records and shit.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Peele, thank you. You're changing horror forever. So
yeah.
Thank you for doing that, man.
Props. I mean, nothing will ever take away the best original screenplay Oscar for Get Out.
Oh, hell no.
Well deserved.
Yeah, amazing.
And I'm sure he's gonna have a very interesting career.
Yeah, that's what's great is he's young.
Yeah, he just started. I mean, nobody's got all winners. Like, there's like 2 or 3 Kubrick movies I can't stand.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's just not for everybody.
No.
And one of those Kubrick movies that you can't stand, I love. So it's just like this. There's stuff, especially in like horror and these experimental movies that are just out there.
Yeah.
Some people are not going to like them, and some people are going to love them. So.
It's all subjective, and that's the best part.
And that's what's great. But I think Connor and I are not right, but we're in the right about this one. I really think that third act is a mess.
Yeah.
There's not really anyone who could convince me because I've seen the facts. I know.
Yeah.
I know what the facts are. I've watched the movie. Logistically it doesn't make sense. And that's my biggest complaint.
Damn shame. All right, final score, 1 out of 10. What are you thinking?
Man, I've thought a lot about this. 7.
Okay.
Give it a 7. There's too many images in it that I was like I'm still thinking about now. And Lupita will live forever in my head.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 7. You're sticking with your...
Yeah. In my... I said that I thought the first half was an 8. I thought the second half was a 5. So I combined that into a solid 6 for the film, which I did in my review that I did on Friday. And I'm going to stick with that. 6 seems fair for this.
It's fair. Who's your favorite character aside from, Adelaide and Red?
Probably Kitty and Josh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because
I like that.
They're such bitches. But... I don't know, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, especially Elizabeth Moss is she's good.
We've all got that asshole friend we hang out with for inexplicable reasons.
Oh, man.
Well, I think that's all we've got to say about Us. See the movie yourself if you haven't by now. I mean, we're done with this. If you haven't seen the movie, well, I'm not apologizing because you're an idiot.
Yeah, we explained plenty of times.
Well, thanks for listening. Hope this sudden emergency filmgasm was good for you. It was good for me. And
hit the spot.
Yeah. We'll be back next Wednesday with the epic Weird Shit Wednesday Quentin Tarantino podcast.
It's gonna be fun.
2-parter. And thanks for listening. And hope you enjoyed it.
See you later.